Welcome to You Make the Difference. I'm Wanda Walker, and today I have as my guest John Aspel. He is with Think College and Career Academy, and we have some exciting things to share with you. Hey, John.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for letting me be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's talk about Think.
Great.
Now, I know that's kind of a unique spelling of Think.
Mm-hmm.
It's spelled T-H-I-N-C.
With emphasis on the ink.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me how that came about.
Well, it was part of our original steering committee work that we did to come up with develop the concept of Think and College and Career Academy and assess its feasibility and if the community wanted to do it. Once we went through that process, and I know we'll talk about it, towards the end of that process, when we felt sure that we had a mandate, we engaged our youth, our students in the community. And after we explained to them what we wanted to do and what we're aiming towards in a organization like Think, we asked them to tell us what they thought the name should be. So we went through a number of iterations of different ideas, and at the very end, they chose Think, which basically is a small th,
right,
capital INC, with dot. So like incorporated. It has a business connotation, a business focus, which we very most certainly do.
And the Think would be like academic, right?
It could be academic, it could be business, mindset, about business skills and soft skills, constantly thinking.
Yeah, so that it has a spark to it, doesn't
That's
it?
right.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of recognition for it, actually, by the state and other entities.
Yes, I'm really excited about the Think Academy.
Great.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me how the community came around this idea so quickly, it seemed like to me.
Yeah.
I know it was in the process and in the thinking for a while, but then you had a committee meeting and asked the community to come in, and how many folks came?
Matter of fact, in early 2013, the leadership of the community pulled together and offered to our community the opportunity to participate in this process.
Yes.
Again, to determine the feasibility of it and decide, is this something that we need, and is it something we need now? And this committee was a 108-person steering committee that met over 6 months, and we maintained that membership over the 6 months. Very diverse group of people. Matter of fact, my numbers show me that 26 members of them were from the local school board, 7 members from West Georgia Technical College, from the cities of Hogansville and LaGrange and West Point. 10 of them were just concerned citizens. And so very diverse members of industry and business, small and large, education, civic, and so forth. So it's amazing. Matter of fact, it's another one of the things that we've been recognized is for the amount of engagement and diversity of engagement in determining, do we want to do this, and is this the time?
Yes, and this committee, I know these people had to be intellectual because they put this together very quickly. And at first we said we're going to open the Academy in August of 2014. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was our initial goal to do that. As we went through in early 2013, there's a lot of pressures right now in the business community and industry, and that's where we get our mandate from, and very much driven by the business industry. And the need is now for workforce development. They say if you're hiring in 4 to 5 years, that your workforce in 4 or 5 years is in the 4th and 5th grade. Means they need to know when the 4th and 5th grade start selecting.
Yes.
Industry experts also tell us by the 8th grade, they pretty much either check in or check out of a career pathway. So by the 8th grade, another thing that we've learned is if you need hiring today, you've lost it. If you haven't reached them in that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade level, at least have an awareness of a career path, you're probably going to have a hard time pulling it. So a lot of pressure by the business community saying we need to do it now. And that really fueled our schedule. Let's get this going, let's do it now, we can do it.
Yes, and so if you had the building, you could have gone in by that period of time, and it was really announced that you were going to go in by that period of time. But then with the Milliken plant, there was some things that happened that we weren't able to do that. And so now, tell me what you're doing as a result of that. I know Kathy didn't want to lose the momentum, so tell me about that.
That's right. Matter of fact, in that early process of feasibility and studying what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it, one of our 7 committees was a facility committee. And this was made up by school officials, by industry officials, by city economic and county economic officials, and building officials. This facility committee looked at a wide range of existing schools, business locations, and so forth. They developed our criteria also for what we want, kind of a Google-like field facility.
Yes.
They looked at cost, renovation cost, do we build new? And in that facility committee recommendations, they came up with 2 primary locations. The first was the Milliken Design Center because of its location, because of its look and feel. Another thing is the Milliken saw the value in this and they
Yes.
donated use of that. That was about a $4 million a year donation. So that was
It
huge.
would have been perfect.
Exactly. But unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, we received a $3 million grant from the state of Georgia through the technical school system, Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle. And that was our funding to do the renovation required. And we learned later in the process that that funding was bond related and it had to be with a government-owned institution. And Milliken was in a position to give us ownership of it. They were going to lease it for a very nominal fee.
Right.
So that allowed us to go to we had done the planning and the research, and we had a second option, which was a great option, equal almost.
Yes.
And that's West Georgia Technical College. So we started to move our transition, our focus, and our plans there, and we plan to open up our first classroom in August 2015.
Yes, and you were telling me that you're already doing some things in the high school. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I'm real proud of our CEO, Dr. Kathy Carlisle. When we made the transition from Milliken Design Center, which we were very grateful for the Milliken Center
Yes.
company, let me say that first and foremost. They stepped forward early in the process, like some other partners like Kia and so forth. When the funding would not allow us to go in that facility, and we had that transition, we knew that we weren't going to meet the August 2014 deadline that we were pushing towards. So we had more time, and we challenged Kathy, said, maintain the momentum. We can't lose momentum, energy, excitement, and work. And so she came back to the board with, you know what, why don't we go ahead and start engaging our partners, the Troup County School System, and we manage the work-based learning program.
Yes.
And so we agreed to support that, and Think Academy is managing that program on behalf and in partnership with the Troup County School System. So we've already got about 40 to 60 kids, young employees,
Yes.
students engaged in the Think environment, and we're building that. It's given us an opportunity to start working with our partners in Troup County School System.
Okay.
So we're already doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now I know that there was a survey done to see what was needed for our community.
Yes.
And so tell me about that survey.
Well, it was what we call the tip of the spear. I mentioned to you earlier, our steering committee was made up of 7 different committees. And the lead tip of the spear was the needs analysis, because we needed to confirm, is it needed? Is a college and career academy needed? And if so, why is it needed? So we reached out to our business community. Over 256 surveys were sent out, very exhaustive surveys.
Yes.
About their hiring practices, the number of jobs that they're going to have available over the next upcoming years, the skill requirements, what deficits they currently see, a whole host of information about their workforce development needs. We had 118 respondents, which was one of the greatest in the state of any college and career academy. And their responses represented 50.4% of all the jobs in Troup County.
Wow.
So we had the mandate from that, well, we had the representation that we need to say, yeah. And so we had great participation. We learned a tremendous amount about the needs and the different careers that were available. Out of that, we chose 5 pathways that represented the most amount of opportunity. Mechatronics, healthcare, STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, energy systems,
Yes.
energy, as well as business and marketing were the 5 initial pathways that were most represented in that survey. There will be more. We will grow for sure. We've got a mandate
Yes.
to do that. But those are our initial start offerings.
Now tell me a little bit about those different things like
Yeah.
Megatronics.
Yeah.
What is Megatronics?
Mechatronics is basically the skills required to go into a manufacturing environment. It's
Okay.
no longer a wrench. It's a power control module. It's computers, being able to plan and program and design computers and robots do the work more effectively, more efficiently, more cost effective. So now it's computer laden. It's about understanding energy and code and things like that. But it's working hands-on in the manufacturing process, and it's giving you those critical skills to do that.
Yes. And one was energy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Now tell me about energy and tell me how that relates to what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I work for the Georgia Power Company.
Right.
And so energy is very important to us.
Yes.
Energy, ideas, and people. And right now, I was mentioning to you, last week I went to an energy workforce development meeting for the energy field. There are over 200,000 new jobs needed by 2018 because of developed technologies and developed fuel fields,
Yes.
the natural gas alone industry, and what's happened with the shale deposit and discovery of that natural gas. they're needing more pipe fitters, they're needing more welders, they're needing more electricians. Over 200,000 jobs.
Yes.
A bulk of those are in our region. Those are wonderful careers in welding and so forth. So there's a need at the industry level. And when we talk to local businesses, they said, yeah, I need that frontline employee to come in with those energy skills, basic electricity, fundamentals of electricity, math that comes along with it.
Right.
So in the energy area alone, there's a lot of opportunity in our area and also local need for those people for employees that understand that, the basics of electricity and energy.
Yes, and you were telling me too how in the College and Career Academy that the business world will really kind of influence and maybe even mandate what is taught in the academy. Is that right?
Absolutely.
So, and you mentioned health.
Healthcare.
And so there may be classes for people entering dental hygienist work or those kinds of things too, right?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, you get me excited.
Okay.
A couple reasons why. Let me offer this to you. One thing is we have each of the pathways right now have an investment group.
Yes.
We're reaching out to the industries and businesses to be a part of this, to bring their resources, their ideas, their accountability, to make sure that our classrooms look like a real live healthcare unit. One of the ideas that we're brainstorming right now is to have a healthcare unit like a hospital room area, and we can treat indigent care free of charge.
Yes. Oh, wow.
So we're bringing the local knowledge, the local expertise and experiences and resources, put them beside our students to teach them how to do that, and offering a service to the community as well at the same time.
Yes.
That's the combination, the partnership with the community in the education environment that we can do, and we will be doing.
Yes, that's awesome.
Go ahead.
No, you tell me.
No, one of my favorite stories, and it really speaks to one of the major benefits of why 29 communities across our state have chosen a College and Career Academy. Because the focus is bringing a very relevant, rigorous, and relationship-based learning experience. When I say relevant, it's one thing to hear about math principles in the classroom. It's a whole other thing to see a robot in front of you, and you really get robots, and to see the math required in the programming and the logic in the planning and managing of that robot. It makes math come alive.
Right.
Same thing in healthcare. Same thing in these other areas.
Yes.
It's one thing to teach business principles. It's another thing to have a think tank where students are involved firsthand in developing a business plan, going to the consumers, developing the services and the quality customer service,
Yes.
and having that rich experience.
Yes.
And that's what a College and Career Academy offers to you. There's a young lady in Savannah. We went to Golden Isles, and she was in the Golden Isles College and Career Academy pathway, and she was in nursing. Like a lot of young ladies and men that want to do nursing, they have that vision of being a nurse.
Right.
Well, she got in there and she realized, I don't like blood. I really don't like needles either. But she had an instructor that understood relationship, that really knew this young lady. He said, I've noticed you and I've watched you, you're really good with numbers. Have you thought about logistics? Savannah, port, logistics is a big industry there.
Yes.
She enrolled in the logistics pathway, loved it. She was a strong alignment with her passion and her skills. Got hired by a local company in the port there while she's in high school.
Yes.
2 years of college requirements free of charge while in high school.
Wow.
They hired her and paid for her college in a degree in logistics at Georgia Southern. Well, that's what happens we see over and over in college career academies. It gives them a chance at an earlier age to see that requirements in the nature of a job career,
Yes.
a career, and align themselves earlier versus waiting 2 years of college saying, I didn't want to do this.
Right.
And thousands of dollars later.
Yes.
That's what excites me a lot for our youth, for our parents,
Yes.
from a cost standpoint, and also for our businesses to get someone who already has aligned themselves up with what that business and industry does.
Yes, and so they can get that development so much earlier, and that'll make them so much more effective in their workplace.
Absolutely.
And for a while there, it seemed that the high schools, well, they were focusing on people who wanted to go to college.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people who really didn't want to go to college. They wanted a skill.
Yeah.
And so now we'll have the opportunity to offer both.
And they'll have more opportunity. Let me
Yes.
comment. The Troup County School System has done a good job at offering career pathways to our students.
Right.
This past year, one of our students led in national competition in Skills USA. And it's a great indicator of what our school system has already done in terms of creating awareness and understanding of career paths for our students.
Yes.
This is a whole nother level of business engagement and experience to make it even better for our school system. It really is.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it is.
And it's nice that the school system is in partnership with you.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, one of the things that we already knew, but has really come to light and the Academy will focus on is soft skills.
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
there's a big need for people to have those soft skills. And so tell me what soft skills are and how the Academy plans to address those.
Absolutely. Glad to, Wanda. As our Director of Operations, Dr. Chris Williams, says, employability skills. He doesn't like the term soft skills. He thinks that's a more relevant term to
Okay,
it.
so say that again.
Employability skills. Being
Employability
soft
skills. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, some of the people in the industry say hard skills, not soft at all. But what we learn, and it's nationwide phenomena. As you travel around, I had the opportunity to do it this summer actually, and talk to business and industry throughout this nation. It's a nationwide occurrence. Whereas soft skills, attendance, teamwork, leadership, communications, basic writing and math skills, which is a little bit aside of soft skills, I'm sorry. There's a real deficit in our current workforce for those skills, and you hear it over and over.
Yes.
And of the surveys that we did to our business community, it was the loudest and most pronounced mandate. Help get them trained in these areas, these soft skills earlier, so that when they get to my organization, I don't have to worry about how they're dressed. I don't need to have to worry about showing up on time or coming back from break.
Yes.
Or how to work within a group of people, teamwork skills. They're critical to the success and efficiency of organizations. So for our College and Career Academy, like many college and career academies, we're putting a specific focus on that. 30% of the grade right now is projected to be soft skill attainment. There'll be a time period for them to ramp up and acquire these skills. There'll be an expectation from day one that you can work well within the group, that you can communicate well, that you can take the basic responsibilities for being a good employee.
Yes.
So we'll focus on, it'll be 30% of the grade.
Right.
We've even seen some academies sign contracts with both the student and the parent to say, look, these are the employability skills that we require of our students. On the flip side, and it really supports this, a lot of people say, well, gosh almighty, that's such a challenge. Why are y'all going to be successful? And I heard this and I saw this. When you give someone a choice and you say, you don't have to go to math.
Right.
You don't have to go to science. This is your choice to come. It puts a whole nother perspective on an opportunity.
Yes.
And that's what we've heard over and over as the main distinction between a college and career academy environment and performance of a student in that environment. So we're excited about that. We're excited about seeing these skills. One of the indicators that show this is true, that they're able to do this when given the opportunity, is that when you look at college and career academies throughout the state, of all the students that participate in college career academy, they have a 90% plus graduation rate.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
markedly different.
Yes,
and
it
it's
is.
really proof to the effectiveness of an environment where there's relevance, where there's rigor, then there's relationship, and you put the onus on them for responsibility.
Yes, and it's also tailored to what they want
Exactly.
in life.
Yeah.
You know, it's what they're interested in, and so if you're interested in something and you're going to be motivated.
It is, and it's one half of the equation. Like a number of our teachers already that we have, and we're blessed to have them, in a college and career academy, one of the strong focuses is because of the charter status, it being a charter school.
Yes.
You can waive a lot of the requirements. One of the requirements that you can waive is certification.
Yes.
We can reach out into industry and get an industry expert to come in through an apprenticeship or through teaching, adjunct, like teacher, professor,
Yes.
and teach these students. So you're taking someone whose life is an area, is a
Right.
career path, and bringing that passion, that vigor, that knowledge into the classroom experience.
Yes.
And that's one of the great benefits of a charter school status in a college and career academy, and we're going to make full use of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that just brought something to my mind. You know, like sometimes you go into the workforce and there may be people there that do on-the-job training, and maybe they're not as motivated or passionate about their job. They're just there and doing their job, but you're going to bring people who are passionate about the job to put the students in front of
Absolutely.
and to develop them, and that's going to be awesome. Tell me how their school day will work.
Okay. We're still developing that format.
Okay.
But some key elements of it are that number one is this is a program. It's not necessarily like a fourth high school.
Right.
All students retain their membership in their existing home school. This is more of a program, if you want to think about it that way, where they come and participate in a program and go back. So one of the key elements is busing. It'll be open to all students.
Yes.
By law, we have to make it open to everyone. So it's not a certain academic profile we're looking for or vocational. It's open to all.
Yes.
We'll offer busing, so we can bus a student there or they can drive there. Is one of the ways that we'll do that. Forgive me, your question again. I want to make sure I answer it correctly.
Oh, their school day. How will it work?
Right, to start out with, what they'll do is they'll come for a portion, for blocks
Yes.
for these different pathway modules and class modules that support that, and then they'll bus back to their school. We will not have lunch. We won't have cafeteria there at the school to start out with. We may in time, but initially they'll come and participate in these classes specific to their pathway. We will also offer some adjoining and accompanying standard classes like math and English to help facilitate their schedule.
Yes.
It won't be as heavy to start off with, but we can see that growing over time. Eventually, we see college and career academies having a full schedule. A student can come and spend the whole day. That won't be our immediate profile at all.
Right.
They'll come participate in the pathway, then go back to their school.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we'll start this interchange with West Georgia Tech
Yeah.
in August of 2015. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I know that y'all have a robot.
Mm-hmm.
You purchased a robot. Is that kind of like your icon, or tell me about the robot?
You know what? He's a lot of things already,
Okay.
and I'm sure he'll become a lot more. But one of the things is he's kind of an image of what we like. Think like
Yes.
our name.
Yes.
It's forward thinking. It's technology driven, and technology is a major component of business driven environment. So he represents that for us. He's also a great marketing tool. You see the things that robots can do today, even taking on personality.
Yes.
It opens up the students' minds and employers' minds and our parents' mind about what the possibilities are, and he represents that to a great degree. Plus, he's just a whole lot of fun to listen to and watch. He brings that relevance into the
Yes.
classroom and into our engagement with students. It's a great marketing tool, and that's probably the primary purpose up front that we purchased the robot.
Okay.
It's to help market.
Yeah. And are there things that you need from the community and businesses? You want to address that?
I want to thank you so much for asking.
Yeah.
First, we want to thank the community. When the Chamber of Commerce and the steering committee and the needs analysis committee reached out to our business community and said, we need your help. We need your ideas. We need your thoughts. We need that needs assessment. They stepped forward like no other community in the state has.
Yes.
So first, we want to thank them. That's what the need is for that engagement. Once we got done with that, we said, all right, give us some time to put some planning, some strategic planning, and develop our plan going forward. Now we're at the point in time where we have a good plan, and we're going back to our community leaders, our business leaders in industry here. We need them to participate really three ways. One is we need their best. We need the best of their people
Yes.
and their ideas. Mentorships, sponsorships, co-op programs, apprenticeships, engaging their people in the lives of our students through being an adjunct professor, hands on hand, and working with our work-based learning programs, opening up their cultures and their business environments to our students and participate in that way. So the best of their people and ideas and locations, cultures. Secondly, we have a short-term financial campaign and a long-term. Short-term, we're about $1 million goal to open up in 2015. That $1 million is part equipment, is part technology, and is part facility. And it really represents everything that we feel like the full quiver of needs to have a rich, relevant learning experience.
Right.
And getting the best of those things. If we don't get those things, we'll still be very, very effective. But that's the budget for really opening this up right and having the environment we need. So we have a fundraising campaign. We need resources. We need them to invest financially as well. Thirdly, we'll come back after this initial campaign. One of the things that we promised the Troup County School Board is that we would have a negative or a neutral effect on budgets.
Yes.
That we would self-sustain ourselves. And we're able to do that for a certain time period, but after that, we're looking to an endowment campaign, a foundation. We're looking to raise $10 million, and based on some other models that are in place and working and delivering, we believe we can come up with about $600,000 a year in interest off of that endowment foundation campaign to handle our operating costs. So we're going to come back to the community and ask for those funds to help maintain the operating. So first is engagement, your ideas and our pathways, be a part of our pathways with our students, with our teachers, with our environment. Second is a financial request, short-term and long-term.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really been thoroughly thought out, hasn't it?
We hope so.
Yeah, we do.
We've done our homework. Yes, we feel real comfortable about that, but there's always more, and that's why we need people. That's why we need the continued engagement of the community to make sure we don't have the blind spots.
Yes. Now tell me about your board of directors.
Okay. Yeah, like the steering committee, it's a real cross-section with a heavy focus on business. You'll see small business owners like Mud Creek Graphics, Greg Hicks, Tony Striblin from Rogers Barbecue, very small or small to medium-sized businesses. We also have Josh Fernandez, the development of workforce development and training at Kia, so large industry. Myself, I represent Georgia Power Company.
Yes.
I work for Georgia Power Company. We also have education. Linda McMullen, professor at LaGrange College. Daryl Harrison at Point University. Tanya Contorno with the Troup County School Systems. We've got a very large diversity. C.J. Tumabing with healthcare, Dr. Tumabing. So we've got a real cross-section of business and industry and education on our board. And I got a compliment. I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
We talked earlier about the hallmark of this community being engaged, the commitment to
Right.
lead and fill gaps in our community, and just quality of leadership. Our board has done a yeoman's effort, the commitment, the energy over time now. We've been going November a year.
Yes.
And we started out meeting every week for probably the first 6 to 8 months, every week.
Wow.
You'll be hard-pressed to find a board that meets every week.
Right.
We didn't have a staff. Somebody had to fill the gap in leadership and planning and hiring and developing policies. Every one of those board members, every week coming to the table, developing these things to set us up and get us going, to hire our staff. It's a remarkable group of people, and this community is proud to have them leading this effort.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know. And, I'm in circles with Roy Nichols.
Yeah.
And a former superintendent, and he was on the committee, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and so I would just like to know, what was your first reaction or response when you came to that first committee meeting and you saw all of those people there meeting for this cause? What was your response?
Well, one, I've been blessed in my role in focusing on external development, community development, and economic development for Georgia Power on behalf of the Troup County region. I had a good mindset already, an understanding of the capacity of this community.
Yes.
Particularly as compared to other communities. The capacity to have a vision,
Yes.
to have the resources to pull around the vision, particularly in terms of relationships and networks and just resources. I had that knowledge coming into it, and so when I came into this opportunity, my first impression was, all right, it's continuing.
Yes.
That same vision, that same understanding, that awareness and understanding, and then that last level of engagement. When you looked around a room of 150, 110 people, I mean, that's heavy laden engagement
It is.
for an idea.
It is.
With not a wall in place, not a student in place, and 108 people.
Yes.
And then to come back for that second meeting, and the 108 people are still there.
Yes.
So my impression was consistent with what I had already experienced in my 3 years prior in this community. A community with vision, a community with connectivity, a community with capability, and with the motivation to accomplish it.
It's an awesome community, isn't
It is.
It is.
It is.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, yeah.
I just appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to say thank you to the people who are watching, and I know that you have learned some things that will help you and your family. We'll see you next week.